Apple Stump Bushcraft Stuff and Things here with you once again. And this is my 3-man tent by Coleman that I essentially have had up in my backyard in this position for about a year. It's coming down today because it's failed, not surprisingly I guess. I had sprayed it with 2 of the top rated brands of UV protectant against the sun. The original rainfly failed, even having been sprayed with that protectant, and now we will see how the tent itself has failed. Right there you can see the seam separated from the tub section. The tub section being essentially like a tarp, and it attaches to the dacron of the main body of the tent. It's supposed to be welded in place, but you can see where I taped it with Gorilla Tape. This was all separated here, but see, that's not good. And so this is going in the garbage today. I'm going to tear it down, remove the things that are inside, take down the rainfly, and store some of the leftover good stuff and toss the tent itself. So first I'm going to remove the bedding from inside and store that in the house. It'll probably all be washed. My 20 below Slumberjack sleeping bag I'll repack in the stuff sack and store it away. For this operation, notice that this door is always folded inward, which I think is a failure on the part of Coleman. It should fold outward, but I'm going to roll this up here. Possibly. Here. Okay. So the first thing to come out will be my glorious blue and orange Afghan. My mother made this actually when I was in junior high. It's supposed to be blue and gold. That was the colors of my junior high football team. But it's actually pretty much blue and orange, which is the colors of Boise State University from which I graduated. So I kind of hang on to it like that as a memento of BSU. Next out is going to be the pillows. And my Slumberjack sleeping bag. This is a Pauly fill bag, advertised to be 20 below. The zipper doesn't work all that great anymore, but I've never had to use it in any hunting situation or camping other than just as a blanket. It's so warm, and just 2 regular pillows here. So, for the stuff sack, believe it or not, that bag goes into this. And you can see in there how high that bed is. It's a double height queen size Intex mattress, and it has a built-in pump to either inflate or deflate it, which is why the electrical cord runs into the tent. We'll be taking that out in a little bit, but first the sleeping bag that's on there. sleeping bag belongs to my wife, but I use it for a cover because she will under no circumstances go camping anywhere. So here it comes. You can see the Intex mattress that's in there. Excuse me while I take this bag in the house. I have to roll it up. Now you can get a better look at the height of that mattress. I'll step in there with 1 foot. And you can see where the sleeping little is. It's quite a comfortable mattress. It has a built-in rise on both ends for pillow and footrest. It's been a fabulous sleeping surface. I don't know if I have any other things in there to take out before I let the air out of there. The most important thing of all, back scratcher. Okay. I'm going to take pretty much everything out of my pockets so I don't accidentally stab a hole in that mattress. I found out in the past, having an Intex mattress, that once they start developing pinholes, there's just about no end to it. I know there's one more thing in here I want to get out. And that's my camp light. I demonstrated this on a previous video. Looks really great in the tent. I'm going to stick this in my shoe. Just barely fits in. Just have to turn a valve. So the mattress is deflating itself now. It's going to take a while to get fairly sizable. We'll get back to you when it's ready to pull out. So while the mattress continues to do its thing, I think I'm going to take this AirSats rain fly off. So I think we'll begin by removing the fold apart. And I shock corded them so they can be folded up. I have a rather heavy jacket on today because it's now even 50 degrees out there now. Sounds like the mattress is empty. I'm going to go in and shut the pump off and close the valve. You see right here where the storage is for the cord. It's really a handy mattress. Camping, or if you just need one because you have guests coming and there's no extra bed. You want to sleep out in the living room and watch TV. Whatever the case may be. Just like that. And splinters of wood come up from the bottom of the tent. That was fun, wasn't it? Fun for me. So we now essentially just have an empty tent. This this was a good tent. I'm really somewhat sad to see it go. Coleman generally makes good products. I can't blame the effects of sun on their fabric. I didn't turn it. I should turn it about every month or two. It's been out here over a year, so I consider that to be good service. Generally speaking, one of these tents would probably last an average camper or camping family for several years. So this one did good service for a year. I slept in it for 6 months every night, and it was good. So next thing we're going to do is take this rain fly that I made out of a tarp off of there. So you may or may not have ascertained that we live near an Air Force base, and that was a flight of 4 F-18s. First thing we're going to do is snip this. Snip that and probably cut the finger. That was a zip tie that I put on there to hold that to the pole. And we'll go around and do that at each of the stations. I think I'm going to save the collapsible shock corded tent poles and the shock cords themselves, and of course this blue tarp, but the rest of the tent is going in the trash. There's another one free. So you're going to hear those F-18s flying around, nothing I can do about that. That one went. Okay, those are all free. Next thing we'll do is remove the shock cords that hold the tarp to the frame of the tent. You can see where they are down there. So we'll start with this corner. Again, we're going to save those. Seems we have a little visitor here. I'm going to try to help him out. Don't want him to get wadded up and throw away. Looks like the same fellow that I saved the other day when I was mowing. Now he should be able to fly, so if he's not, no, he's amenable to the stick. We're going to put him in a tree. And that takes care of that. I wanted to check back here. This is the side of the tent where the sun rises and shines on. Although the other side that I poked my finger through so easy was the side that it was at most of the day. Again, this tent fabric has been treated twice, once with Scotch Guard and once with Nick Wax. And Nick Wax, it was treated twice with that. Not so pretty good. So again, I'm just going to detach this shock cord that I have tied to the tarp for making a rain fly. side. Now before we go any further, I want to see how tough the side that gets virtually no sun, the north-facing side of the tent, fared with regard to UV exposure and degradation. Somewhat better, but not acceptable. And here we'll detach the third shock cord. Take it off the tarp. Of course the tarp wants to blow away now because it's only held on by one. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the ridge pole. This originally came with the tent, and it's shock corded and collapsible. We're going to save that. One final detachment of the shock cord from the rainfly, self-made from a tarp actually. If you look here, you'll see this orange cord. And it goes up to the rainfly. So that's how I guide out the rainfly. And it's secured down here with a coffee cup hook that you would put in your cabinet. Or maybe underneath the cabinet to hang coffee cups on. They work really good. And there I have essentially a slip knot with a Canadian jam knot tied behind it, so I can adjust the tension, and I've had to do that a number of times. It works quite well. Anyway, I'm going to remove that. That's just cheap orange cordage, and so I'm not going to try saving it. I have lots of paracord. Next time I set this up, I'll use paracord. So we're just going to cut that with a Swiss Army knife scissors. And essentially the same setup on the other side. So the tarp has decided it's time to head for home. And this is the last piece of that cheap outdoor cordage. I think I had the presence of mind to tie a slip knot on that one, but I'm just going to cut it and get rid of it quick. So there we have one last look at it. Frayed and worn. What do we have down there? Something I'll need probably. Oh, that's the door to the pump controls that goes to the mattress. But it had lots of view of the sky, as you can see. On a clear night, you can see a lot of stars. They didn't have the rain fly on. I don't really have any complaints about this tent other than I wish that the fabric were more resistant to UV light, because I had to keep it up a long time, and there are those who don't have anywhere to sleep but a tent. It'd be nice if the fabric would last longer, but it's going in the garbage. That's where that whole shooting match is going as soon as I get the poles down. I'm going to leave the 35-pound weights down there to assist holding the corners down until I get everything ready to go. The collapsible poles I'm going to save. These attachments that go to the poles I'm not going to save. They're sewn into the tent. The whole tent is essentially made of plastic, so it's recyclable, and it's going in the recycling bin. Yay! So we're going to take it apart in kind of reverse order of how you set these up. They have freestanding setup. Essentially a pin, it's a mistake. A pin is built into the bottom of the tent. I don't believe I have any reason to save those. If I do, I'll cut them free. And then the next item is simply this. Snap-on rig, and that one's almost ready to come out. We'll switch around to the other side. And essentially the same thing here. It has a pin that fits into it. The only thing I have to be careful with out here on the deck is that those collapsible poles don't end up going in between the deck boards. I've done that before and they're hard to get up. So that one's done. Now we'll do the same thing over here on this corner. Essentially how you set it up and remove it, really. They're pretty easy to set up. Coleman got that part right, even if they didn't make a really strong fabric. And the last two. Oh, good. It's always helpful to spill something. So, left green, take this off. Kill the spiders, and essentially we're ready to withdraw support poles, which are quite nicely chalk corded together. Actually, I probably should be folding them. Pull them out. That way they're not going to go through some window behind me. This tent has only two ridge poles, or frame poles I should say, and one ridge pole that goes to the rainfly. We'll get busy extracting and folding up the remaining support pole. That. All that remains to do now is to remove the 35-pound dumbbells that are holding the two front corners down and wrap it up and throw it in the blue barrel. So here we go. I forgot to mention that I'd put a painter's plastic drop cloth underneath there for a ground sheet. So it's going to be full of debris and slugs and all kinds of vermin. And it's going in the recycling bin as well. Next thing I'll do is probably get the blower and blow that debris off of there, and then the missus will be quite happy. That's all the collapsible poles. The ones that are tied together with orange cordage are the main poles. The other ones are ridge pole and the poles that I bought to hold up the blue tarp in the front when I made a rain fly out of it. So the deck is cleaned off and the tent is no more. Taps for the tent. It was my good buddy Apple Stump Bushcraft Stuffing Things signing off with another edition, and we hope to see you next time. Adios.